Let me start with a story. In the 1800s, a man named William Seward stood in front of Congress and said to the United States, "We should buy a frozen wasteland called Alaska. No gold rush, no oil pipelines, no satellite images, just ice on a map." And the entire country laughed at him. They called it a Seward's folly, a joke, a waste, a pointless purchase. Newspapers mocked it. Politicians sneered it. Experts said it was useless. Fast forward a couple decades later, that worthless ice, quote unquote, turned into gold, oil, natural gas, military leverage, one of the most strategic assets America ever owned. And the laughter disappeared. Now here's a question I want you to sit with. What if you're watching the same moment happen again and you don't even recognize it because history hasn't even finished unfolding yet? Because right now people are laughing again, mocking again, and dismissing again. This time this land isn't called Alaska, it is called Greenland. And the only difference between vision and stupidity is time. Big Nathan reporting for duty on Operation Pronto episode 15. This channel exists for people who think ahead of the consensus. No left, no right, only power, incentives, systems, and outcomes. Today's episode is about why the United States always cared about Greenland, why Donald Trump wasn't crazy, why Greenland determines who controls the Arctic, trade, and future security, and why America securing Greenland leads to more freedom, no less. This isn't a conquest talk, this is civilization math. I want you guys listening to this podcast to understand this. Greenland is not ice, it is position. I'm going to say that again. Greenland is not just ice, it is position. Greenland doesn't need skyscrapers, it doesn't need millions of people. What it has currently is location. And if location is very much important, it sits between North America, Europe, and the Arctic corridor. That's something you should understand. That makes it a gatekeeper. Trade routes, missile detection, naval movement, reaction time. And in geopolitics, reaction time is survival. Survival is much needed, more than you ever think. Let's talk about America and Greenland for a second. Not new, not random. It'll be super simple if you understand what I'm saying. Let's correct the record. The United States did not suddenly wake up one day and said, "I am interested in Greenland." What you have to understand is this. During World War II, when Denmark was occupied, Americans stepped in to protect Greenland. Yes, they stepped in to protect Greenland itself. Why? Because even then, leaders understood something simple. If Greenland fails and falls into hostile hands, North America is exposed. The relationship never ended. America still operates critical defense and space monitoring infrastructure there today. This is continuity, not aggression. What good happens if USA secures Greenland? I want you to think. Think before you watch this segment. I want you to pause the video. Think for yourself, what good happens if America gets Greenland? Okay, let's play. Let's talk about outcomes for a second. Economic transformation. A US aligned Greenland means, number one, major infrastructure investment. Ports, airports, roads, communications, high-paying jobs in defense, logistics, energy, and research. That means more jobs for America and more jobs for people in Greenland. Reduce dependence on subsidies. America doesn't just extract value, America builds systems and structures. And I'd like to take a paused moment brief right now. If you're talking about systems and structures like myself, I need you to go back and watch Operation Pronto, Systems and Structures. I don't know which episode it was, maybe episode 7, 8. one of those episodes, I spoke about systems and structures. You need to go watch that video to understand what I'm saying right now. Systems and structures are super duper important. They're super duper important. And America is going to build a higher grade system for Greenland itself. Education, technology, and opportunity. U.S. alignment brings university partnerships, Arctic research funding, STEM pipelines, healthcare and technology upgrades. That's not exploitation, that's economic elevation. Can't lie, this right here gotta be my favorite bottle of water. It's my favorite bottle. If you haven't had your 2 liters a day, I advise you to keep on drinking more water every single time you feel, you just want to take a little break, When Trump talked about Greenland, the media laughed. Jokes, mockery, dismissal, but Trump did something most politicians never do. He said a quiet part out loud. He spoke about the elephant in the room. If America doesn't secure strategic territory, someone else will. And who is that someone else? We are talking about Russia, we're talking about China, we're talking about so many other countries who could exploit Greenland because they have weak defense. That's no ideology, that's history. And if you don't believe that, let me remind you for a second. Alaska, Greenland, and why history keeps repeating. See, what a lot of you don't understand is this. If America does not secure Greenland, America being the world superpower becomes a contest, not a guarantee. And that contest is coming from Russia and China. Now, let me take you back to history. Before United States purchased Alaska, people mocked it. They said, why buy ice? What's the point? It's useless. It's a waste of money. They literally called it a seawards folly. Time passed later on. And what did America find? Gold, oil, natural gas, minerals, strategic military positioning it. That worthless ice, quote unquote, turned out to be one of the greatest acquisitions in American history. America didn't just buy land. America bought leverage. America bought wealth. America bought security, and the laughter stopped. Now fast forward to today. Greenland is being mocked the same exact way Alaska was mocked. It's just ice. It's empty. It's not worth it. That's not intelligent. That's short-term thinking. Greenland isn't ice. Greenland is rare earth minerals, energy potential, shipping lanes, Arctic dominance. Buying Greenland today is buying Alaska again. It is Alaska 2.0. It's gold, just frozen for now. And if America doesn't act, someone else will. History doesn't reward hesitation, it rewards foresight. Only those that are able to see forward into the future, those that think ahead of time, those who think 20 years from now, those who think 10 years from now. And that is what the president is currently doing. He's thinking ahead and seeing years beyond today. Looks like the time is right. Power, freedom, and why America matters. Let me slow this down for you because a lot of people watching this generally do not understand power. If you don't understand power, you become a victim of it. America is the current superpower of the world. This is not an opinion, this is a reality. If someone else becomes a global superpower of the world does not become more free, it becomes more controlled. At least under American dominance, there is capitalism, there's speech, there's movement, there's innovation, there's room to breathe. America is the global police, imperfect, loud, and sometimes reckless, but necessary. America builds systems, backs allies, stabilizes regions, keeps shipping lanes open, deters chaos. If Russia or China became the dominant global superpower, the world shifts towards submission, no freedom, no real dissent. No free markets, no individual sovereignty, and that's why Greenland matters. If Russia or China controls Greenland, they gain leverage, military, economic, and strategic. This isn't about conquest, it's about which system governs the planets. because power will exist whether you like it or not. And the only question is this: who holds it and under what rules? Resources equals independence. Greenland contains rare earth minerals, uranium. We haven't even spoken about this for a second, but it contains rare earth minerals, uranium that is highly valuable, oil and gas potential. All these are potential minerals that Greenland could potentially hold, and also freshwater reserves. These resources power modern civilization. If America controls supply chains, it reduces dependence on adversaries. That's no greed. That's national insurance. But what about the security aspects of Greenland? I know. Just calm down for a second. I'm going to get to there. Security. Geography doesn't care about feelings. Let's talk about security. Real security, not slogans. Because geography does not care about your intentions. It does not care about your emotions. It does not care about your moral arguments. Geography only cares about position. Greenland is not just land, it's a sensor. It is a shield. It is an early warning system for the entire Western world. From Greenland, you get missile detection, submarine tracking, radar coverage, space monitoring. This is where threats are seen before they arrive. And in modern warfare, not the game, the side that sees first wins first. I'm going to say that again. In modern warfare, and I'm not talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare, see the play. Modern warfare, I'm talking about current warfare that's happening today. The side that sees first wins first. And if Greenland is friendly, North America has time. If Greenland is hostile, North America has seconds. That's no exaggeration, that's physics. This is why Greenland matters to NATO. This is why it matters to the Arctic security. This is why it matters to global stability. Because if an adversary controls Greenland, they don't need to attack immediately. They just need to exist there. Presence becomes pressure. Pressure becomes leverage. And leverage becomes control. And once leverage exists, peace becomes conditional. A US secured Greenland doesn't escalate conflicts, it prevents it. It establishes deterrence, it stabilizes shipping lanes, it protects trade, it secures airspace, it keeps escalation off the table. Strong borders don't provoke war, they prevent miscalculation. And this principle doesn't apply to nations, it applies to businesses too. Because just like countries, businesses collapse when they miss signals, respond too late, and rely on humans to be everywhere at once. That's why I built the AI receptionist. If you're a business owner watching this right now, you're missing calls, missing leads, missing bookings, you're losing ground the same way nations do when they ignore geography, my AI receptionist answers calls 24/7, books appointments, captures leads, never sleeps, never misses signals. Security is about response time. So is success. If you want systems that protect your business while you focus on growth, the AI receptionist link is below. Because whether it's geopolitics or business, reaction time decides survival. I advise you to choose wisely. If you want your business to survive, click the link in the description below. We've touched on so many segments here today, but this next segment I'm going to touch on is super important. I want you to take a break right now and listen to what I have to say after I drink this water. If you personally know me, you know that the best gift you could possibly give me is water. I love water. I love staying hydrated. This is one of my favorite things to drink. I don't drink any other thing than water. If you know me, buy me some water and I'll love you forever. But nevertheless, let's talk about something interesting. Is America returning to imperialism or practicing strategic expansion, aka expansionism? Now let's address the elephant in the room, because whenever America talks about land influence positioning, someone immediately screams out one word: imperialism. Imperialism. So let's slow this down and define terms, because words matter. What imperialism actually is. Imperialism historically looks like this: direct rule over foreign population, no consent, no self-governance, extraction without reinvestment, permanent domination. That's how European empires operated. That's how colonial systems function. Now contrast that with how United States has operated since World War II. America's post-World War II model: influence, not empire. After World War II, America had a choice. It could have kept Europe weak, extracted all resources, ruled territories directly. Instead, I'll tell you what America did. America funded Reconstruction through the Marshall Plan, built alliances instead of colonies, created NATO instead of an empire, allowed sovereignty instead of abolishing it. That is not classical imperialism, or imperialism, whatever way you pronounce the word, I don't care. This is what you call leadership. I'm just going to call it that, leadership. But let's talk about expansion versus imperialism. This is the key distinction. Expansionism is about position and security. Imperialism is about subjugation and control. America's modern expansion looks like this: military bases with host nation agreements. And I want you to know, America currently has 800 plus military bases all around the world. That is what expansionism kind of looks like. Economic alliances, security guarantees, trade networks, technology sharing. This is rule-based order, imperfect but structured in a way. I advise you again, go watch my video on systems and structures if you've not watched it, because you wouldn't understand anything I'm saying currently, maybe. But Greenland through this lens: if America were talking about forcing governance, erasing Greenlandic identity, stripping political autonomy, then yes, that would be imperialism. But that's not what's happening right now. What's being discussed is strategic alignment, economic investment, security integration, long-term Arctic stability. This is consolidation, not conquest. But a power vacuum reality is this: power never disappears. If America retreats, it doesn't create peace. It creates opportunity for replacement. I am going to say that again. If America retreats, it doesn't create peace. It creates opportunity for replacement. And history shows exactly who fills vacuums. Russia with force, China with leverage and depth. Statistical reality: since 1945, the US has reduced territorial expansion. Most global presence is alliance-based. US aligned nations tend to have higher GDP, more trade access, and greater technological integration. America isn't perfect, it's preferable. So when people ask, is America expanding again? The real question is, will America lead deliberately or decline passively? History already answered what happens when great powers hesitate. And we all know that to be a fact. You need to understand this. Maps are moving again. The era of comfort politics or geopolitics is over. We are back to geography, resources, power corridors. Greenland is not optional, it is inevitable. The only question is who secures it first. Operation Pronto exists to prepare minds for reality, not what feels good, what works. Greenland is about domination. It's about stability, prosperity, prevention. Strong nations don't wait for permission. They shape the future by taking action. Well, let's close this whole Operation Pronto episode with a Bible scripture from Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. Operation Pronto. Stay early, stay sharp, and make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Take care. Out.